Welcome back once again, wonderful people. Welcome back to Talk TV channel. We're going to you back to that of day I see day hot. And people are don't come again. Oh, enough is enough, and are waiting hyper of them to tell FG government and are waiting them to talk concerning the release of Martin Nandekano. I beg you, people when they hear my voice, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, I beg greet. I beg even your first time where they listen to this wonderful channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. And the see where can we come be say I pop and they know they happy and because they know say this one will be the talk say then go. Martin and the can get hearing for December 15 and the thing when they do them somehow for mine because they know say that in release the under probability they should release them or not and I mean they talk for years say enough is enough and I beg make una release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now waiting the indigenous people of Biafra and they lamented over and the continued detention of its leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The group on Wednesday stated that Kanu's detention was a violation of his rights and in disregard of court orders directing his release. In a statement made available to the public by the IPOB's-led counsel, Ifeanyi Ejiofor asked the President Bola Tinubu-led government to immediately free the embattled leader of the group. The statement partly read, the continued illegal and unconstitutional detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in a solitary confinement in the facility of the Nigerian State Security Service in a flagrant disobedience of various orders of court of competent jurisdiction, a gross violation of his human rights as clearly provided for under the Nigerian Constitution, African Charter on Human and People's Rights, United Nations General Assembly Resolution on the Right to Self-Determination, and other international conventions and treaties to which Nigeria is a signatory. The Nigerian state must free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in compliance with its own law, convention, and court orders, and the time is now. Enough is enough. Now waiting the talk, make them try release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Say that one where they put and still under that detention and say that one now to now they do I say as if say no be if they do concerning God. Wonderful people, I meant to say that the continuous detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a violation to his human rights and in disregard to the court order directing his release. And wonderful people, you guys have heard it all. IPOB, they are not happy in the continuous detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and their leader and the leader of the indigenous people, Biafra, and they are not happy, and that's why they are urging President Bola Tinubu to release their leader, which is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and say it done today for that detention, even when the court has ordered his release. Aside from that one, it gets another news where they my table. So I say I go share on the news, and before I go cut am for now, but and the news is all about Oga Alex Oti. Yes, Oga Alex Oti, and he said that the compulsory retirement of directors in Abia State civil servants. Abia former APC governorship aspirant Obinna Oriako writes to Governor Alex Oti on the compulsory retirement of directors in Abia State civil service. The Abia State government recently reactivated the policy that mandates directors that have served for 8 years to proceed on retirement. The same will go for permanent secretaries that have served for 4 years and 8 years respectively. By close analysis, we can place the average age of a director in the state service at about 45 and 50 years, and this is the peak of their service. This is the peak of their service life. Thus, this is at the age that civil servants commit energetically to service and in turn give in their best as they hope to be elevated to permanent secretary positions, which exemplifies the ultimate crown of deserving civil servants. One can therefore understand the stop that accompanied the reinforcement of the policy retiring directors after 8 years. Some of them are still and and have refused to proceed on the mandatory for 3 months in lieu of the retirement notice, not because they don't want to disobey the government, but because of the lack of direction of what next to do. An acquaintance of mine who was affected by the policy asked me the other day, what will I go home to do? To stay at home with my young children who are still in secondary school. From his facial expression alone, you could see how frustrated and disoriented that he is. The man's mood represents the mood of many others whose career is being cut short at the peak of their career. Like somebody would say in Igbo, mgbe ọra bidoro tọwa ụtọ, in transition when the sweetness of sleep has just begun. I also know about a high-ranking ICON member whose knowledge of accounting will be wasted by this policy. They are all this is all about the retirement of civil servants, and we'll be saying they talk in they try tell Oga Alex Oti say abeg say all these people will be in the talk say they don't reach to go for retirement, and say make them try leave that retirement matter and they should put them on the permanent secretary, and at least if they have served for 4 years or 8 years, and they should give them a permanent secretary post. And because since say one of them been the talk say if they retire now can't go to the house, she be now to go stay for house and say that their children still there for schools, and they go just sit down there for house, they look them and say no, and I'm making the talk for that place. Say he only he's frustrated and disoriented is that he is that the man's mood represents the mood of many others whose career is being cut short at the peak of their career. Yes, na im making con give that address say mgbe ụra bidoro tọwa ụtọ, and say when sleep don begin to the street, na im dey cut am short. Na im make dey try to dey tell Oga Alex Oti make e look into the matter, and say make dem try to dey give them at least if na permanent secretary post, and say that one go better for them than to give them to leave them for retirement. Say wetin dem go house they do. And they also said by this policy, the service is now left in the hands of some of those whose interests and commitment to service aren't strong enough to sustain the fledgling administration. Most of them do not even understand the dynamics of civil service and core rudiment of the principles that is the hallmark of the service. So it results in skill cap and undue exposure to and to floppy implementation of government policies and programs. If the policy is not reserved, then the state would have lost some of the best that the civil service has ever produced. Those who over time have been well trained to implement the policies and programs of government. The consequences is that the provider of the engine room, which an effect civil service exemplifies, may be on the verge of knocking. Now waiting in the title Oga Alex Oti and the former Abia State Governor as friends. He was Oga Obinna Oriako, and he's telling Oga Alex Oti concerning and the people wey been dey go on retirement, and say make him look into the matter, and say if they go for that retirement, it go make them lose one of their best civil servants they must have produced so far. As say make him try to dey give them if na permanent secretary post, and so that one go dey better for them, and than to go to the house and start sitting and wandering around. But wonderful people, aside from that one, una don hear wetin IPOB talk concerning the matter, and dem talk say enough is enough, and make dem release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But na here we go cut am for now. Abeg, if na your first time wey you dey lis ten to this wonderful channel, no forget to turn your notification button, like, comment, and share. So anytime we will get a latest news update, and you be the first to be notified.